She texted me the morning of her session and she said she wasn't ready. She needed to lose weight first. She needed to feel different than she felt that day. And I have gotten more texts like that more times than I can count. They're different women, but they're almost the same words every single time. She came anyway because we don't do last minute cancellations and walking out on ourselves. And what she said at the end of her session was the reason that I keep telling this story because more people need to hear this. If we haven't met, my name is Marian. I photograph women. I didn't start here. I spent years in corporate sales before I picked up a camera for money. And I built this business on the side before I left corporate America to do this work full time. That matters to this story more than it sounds like it should, because I spent all those years watching how people talk about themselves, what they believe they're allowed to have, what they'll argue themselves out of before anyone else gets a vote. And I hear it in that morning of text every single time. It's not really about the session, it's older and it's deeper than that. So let me tell you exactly what that text actually means, because no matter where I see it, it's most always usually in the same shape. She's not ready. She'll come when she's lost the weight, once her skin clears up, when she feels more like herself than she does right now, standing in her closet looking at what she's got on, once she gets a little less busy, once the kids are a little bit older, once there's a little bit more money, blah, 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 this and that. It's so normal. And I do understand it. I really do. It feels safer to show up as the finished version of yourself, to earn the photos first and then let someone else take them. But here's what I've watched happen over and over every single session that I have. The reason on top isn't the real one. Underneath the weight of those reasons, after all of that, is something quieter. Somewhere along the way, the ladies that come into me stopped being a person who gets to feel beautiful. It's not because it stopped being true. It's because nobody has been reminding her who she actually is, including herself. And that's the part that gets me every time. And that is why I do the work that I do. It isn't vanity keeping women from booking, it's the opposite. She has filed herself under later, after the weight, kids, blah, 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 after some version of herself that keeps moving further and further away the longer she waits for it. So you may be asking, what actually happened to that lady? Like I said, she came anyway, because when you actually give weight to yourself, something shifts. So here's what I did. I texted her back. I didn't argue with her about the weight. That never works. And it isn't the point anyway. I just told her the truth, which is that the woman standing in her closet that morning, the one who didn't feel ready, was exactly who I wanted to photograph. I did not want a future version of her. I wanted her that exact day. So she came, and she was super nervous walking in, the way most women are. The first stretch of the session was really quiet. Hair, makeup, a little small talk, some awkwardness while she works out what to do with her hands. And then somewhere in the middle of all those pictures, something shifted. And again, it always does. She stopped checking my face to see if she was doing it right. She stopped apologizing for her body. She started moving like someone who forgot she was being watched. And because I've done this long enough to know when it's about to happen, I can't rush it. I can only leave room for it and wait. And by the end of that session, she was not the same woman who had sent that text earlier in the day. A little bit later, we went and looked at all her pictures together. And I can tell you what a reveal like, because it's not what people actually picture. It wasn't squealing, it wasn't a big reaction, it's stillness. For her, she got completely still. And then she said, I don't even recognize myself in a good way. I forgot I could look like this. She forgot. The word stayed with me. Not I didn't know, it's that I had forgotten. Like somewhere along the way, she had just quietly stopped being a person who got to feel beautiful. And here it was again, handed back to her. That's the whole thing. That's everything right there. She didn't turn into someone new in front of my camera. She got reminded of who she was already and who she had stopped picturing herself as being. That's what these sessions do. They're not a before and after. They are a woman coming back to herself, exactly who she was, in true authenticity. And then she didn't leave with a file of folders on her phone. She went home with pictures she'll have for the rest of her life. Something her hands can hold, an album she can take off the shelf. She actually added a print also so that she can look at it on the wall. She gets to walk past it every morning. So her reminder isn't buried somewhere that she's not going to get to experience on a regular basis. And I really do care about that part more than I can probably say out loud, because I've seen the way it shifts perceptions on a deeper level after I photograph these ladies. A phone photo disappears. You take hundreds of pictures and none of them are you, and you lose them or never look at them again. But an album stays, a canvas stays. It's still there in 10 years and 20 years. When you want to look at a picture and see the proof of who you actually are, exactly at that point in time, and you can come back to it again and again and again. So if you are watching this video and you're thinking about a boudoir session and deciding whether or not you want to reach out, and you keep putting it off and you're telling yourself you're going to do it after whatever reason that you have on your side, I'm going to promise you right now, you are not going to feel ready, because almost nobody does. But you need to come anyway. If you want to know what a section looks like even more, my links are below. There's no pressure, but I want to gently hold your hand as I say, now is the time. It is not later. You can put yourself first, and you can finally come back to yourself and see yourself differently. Remember, she was so close to not coming. Do not let that be you. Come in, have the experience, and really understand what it means to have a boudoir session.